Islam Moors, happy holy day. We are now gathered here at the Moorish Science Temple of America. We're going to go ahead and start up our meeting. First and foremost, all meetings are to be opened and closed promptly according to the Circle 7 in love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. I want to ask that everyone who is able to please rise and face the east as we recite the Moorish American prayer, standing with our heels together, feet at a 45-degree angle, and holding up two fingers on the right and five on the left. Please repeat after me. Allah, the Father of the universe, the Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is my protector, my guide, and my salvation by night and by day through his prophet, his holy prophet, Drew Ali. Amen. Islam Moors. Want to announce this meeting is now open. This is the Moorish Science Temple of America, Temple 30, Columbus, Ohio. First and foremost, I rise giving the highest of praise to the Most High, our Father God Allah. I extend honors to our divine prophet, Noble Drew Ali, for bringing us our divine creed and nationality so that we may learn to love instead of hate. I extend honors to the forerunner to the prophet, Brother Marcus Mosiah Garvey, for preparing the way for purity and love. I extend honors to the Moorish and the American flags, and I extend honors to the Charter and its 10 wonders. I extend honors to the first appointed Supreme Grand Sheikh, appointed by the prophet, Brother E. Billy Ill, and I extend honors also to all members of the Moorish Science Temple of America, all the faithful. And I extend honors to the office of Supreme Grand Sheikh and Supreme Grand Council of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Islam Moors, we will now read our divine constitution and bylaws. Salvation, Allah, unity, the Moorish Science Temple of America, the divine constitution and bylaws. Act 1, the Grand Sheikh and the chairman of the Moorish Science Temple of America is empowered to make law and enforce laws with the assistance of the Prophet and the grand body of the Moorish Science Temple of America. The assistant Grand Sheikh is to assist the Grand Sheikh in all affairs if he lives according to love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, and it is known before the members of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Act 2, all meetings are to be opened and closed promptly according to the Circle 7 in love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Friday is our holy day of rest because on a Friday the first man was formed in flesh, and on a Friday the first man departed out of flesh and ascended unto his Father God Allah. For that cause, Friday is the holy day for all Muslims all over the world. Act 3, love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice must be proclaimed and practiced by all members of the Moorish Science Temple of America. No members to put in danger or accuse falsely his brother or sister on any occasion at all that may harm his brother or sister, because Allah is love. Act 4, all members must preserve these holy and divine laws, and all members must obey the laws of the government, because by being a Moorish American, you are a part and partial of the government and must live the life accordingly. Act 5, this organization of the Moorish Science Temple of America is not to cause any confusion or to overthrow the laws of, or to overthrow the laws and constitution of the said government, but to obey hereby. Act 6, with us, all members must proclaim their nationality, and we are teaching our people their nationality and their divine creed, that they may know that they are part and partial of this said government, and know that they are not Negroes, colored folks, black people, or Ethiopians, because these names were given to slaves by slaveholders in 1779 and lasted until 1865 during the time of slavery. But this is a new era of time now, and all men now must proclaim their free national name to be recognized by the government in which they live and the nations of the earth. This is the reason why Allah, the great God of the universe, ordained Noble Drew Ali, the prophet, to redeem his people from their sinful ways. The Moorish Americans are the descendants of the ancient Moabites whom inhabited the northwestern and southwestern shores of Africa. Act 7, All members must promptly attend their meetings and become a part and a partial of all uplifting acts of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Members must pay their dues and keep in line with all necessities of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Then you are entitled to the name of faithful. Husband, you must support your wife and children. Wife, you must obey your husband and take care of your children and look after the duties of your household. Sons and daughters must obey father and mother and be industrious and become a part of the uplifting of fallen humanity. All Moorish Americans must keep their hearts and minds pure with love and their bodies clean with water. This divine covenant is from your holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali, through the guidance of his father God, Allah. Noble Drew Ali, founder, Moorish American prayer. Allah, the Father of the universe, the Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is my protector, my guide, and my salvation by night and by day through his holy prophet, Drew Ali. Amen. The Moorish Science Temple of America, home office of Noble Drew Ali, home office, Chicago, Illinois, U.S.A. Islam Moors, brother Cole Bay. If you are able to, please read the writs of our prophet.
Islam, Grand Sheikh, I rise give perfect praise to the great God Allah. Rise give honors to the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Rise give honors to the forerunner Marcus Messiah Garvey. Rise give honors to all ills and bays, all Muslims on the call and on the planet. Prophet warns all Muslims to be read in every meeting. I hereby inform all members they must end all radical speeches while at work, in their homes, or on the streets. We are for peace and not destruction. Stop flashing your cards at Europeans. It causes confusion. Remember, your card is for your salvation. The failure to obey these orders, severe consequence. We are for love, truth, peace, freedom. When these principles are violated, justice must then take its course. Any member or a group of members who hold malicious feelings towards the temple or the prophet or violate the divine covenant of the Moorish movement will receive their rewards from Allah for their unjust deeds. All true Moors will and must obey the law laid down to them by their prophet. If they lose confidence in their prophet, they should turn in their card and button, cease wearing their turban and fez, and return to the state where I, the prophet, found you. This is a holy and divine movement founded by the prophet Noble Drew Ali. And the prophet is not right, the temple is not right. The prophet, therefore, is sending out a divine plea to all Moorish Americans that do their part in protecting their prophet and the temple. This is an everlasting movement founded by the prophet through the will of Allah to redeem his people from their sinful ways. Peace. Noble Drew Ali. To the members of the Moorish Science Temple of America, Islam. This is instructions from your prophet Noble Drew Ali. Be faithful to your forefather divine and national creed. You will be blessed for your good deeds that you sow in the flesh. Allah is the one that judges the world, and the judgment is on now, but the weak can comprehend it not. Then the times are drawing near, so says Allah to his divine prophet, I Noble Drew Ali. And that's why many hearts have turned to stone. Many have eyes to see, but cannot see, ears to hear, but cannot hear. Least they'll be confounded of their sins. These are the trying hours now, dear Moors, and every evil spirit is moving, and they are trying every weak mind to overthrow and drag out the true foundation that has been laid, and to cause confusion in the minds of the ones that do believe. But if you have the true love of Allah and the spirit of your forefathers, fear not what you hear or see, but will sacrifice the utmost of your very life to protect your prophet, protect your prophet and the movement. Watch your enemies, dear Moors. Your enemies are the ones that speak against your prophet and ridicule him to the very lowest, and the ones that speak against your divine and national principles of your temples. Act accordingly, and Allah will bless you for your good work. Peace. Your divine prophet, Noble Drew Ali. To be proclaimed in every meeting, Islam. I'm glad to know I have a few faithful Moors among you all, and I desire for them to know the truth and the divine truth. There's a host of jealousy about me and the movement now by the same people of our side of the nation that claimed that I was a joke and unreal. But now, since they found out from the government officials and the nations of the earth that this is the only solid foundation that all Asiatics must depend upon for their earthly salvation as American citizens, they are working every scheme that they can to disqualify me so they may take charge of the situation. I have notified all these things to you long ago in the past. It is through the faithful Moors that attribute to the movement and uplifting funds. The ones that pay their divine respects to me and the movement will be remembered. That's why I'm calling upon all faithful Moors to increase their faithfulness to meet your prophet and your divine Moorish movement. I need finance, and I need it badly. Never before have I needed finance so badly as I do at present, so I can shove aside the discord that is facing the nation. It all comes through jealousy because of my fame and nobility. The nations of the world will not recognize the movement without I, the prophet, being head. It has been proven by my works which I have performed in the past few years. Prophet, Noble Drew Ali. Islam, Islam, Islamism. Happy holiday, Moss.
Gratitude, brother. Sister Lachey L, if you're able to, would you please read our additional laws?
Islam. I rise to give all praise to the great Father God Allah. I give honors to the Holy Prophet Noble Drew Ali. I give honors to Marcus Messiah Garvey, the forerunners of the Prophet. I give honors to all Muslims on the call and all Muslims around the world. Questionary and additional laws for the Moorish Americans by the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Act 1. Grand sheikhs and governors and heads of all temples, all business. Each said temple must be approved by the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Before acted upon by any members, let it be finance, property, or any line of life that will cause the members to sacrifice finance, etc., that will cause the support of any group of members. Any former officer that violates these laws is subject to be removed from his office under a heavy restriction, etc., by the Prophet or the Grand Sheikh. Act 2. All members are to attend their EDEP meetings and their public meetings promptly. If a member is found standing around on the meeting period, shall be fined 50 cents on the first case. When on the second, he will be fined $1, which will go on your emergency fund. If member is working, his monthly dues must be paid, and if he has money in the bank, he must subscribe for as much as he is able to the Moorish uplifting funds, because it takes finance to uplift the nation. Act 3. It is the lawful and divine duty of every good member, if he is able in finance, to aid me in saving the nation. And if he does not, he is an enemy to the cause of uplifting his own people, and justice must catch you. Let it be he or she according to love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, as I have the power invested in my hands, and I would have to enforce the law in order to save the nation. Act 4. All members, while up making a public speech, must not use any assertion against the American flag or speak radical against the church or any member of any organized group, because we're to teach love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Act 5. All members must promptly attend their meetings and send their children to Sunday school, and the teacher must confirm himself to the questionnaire, and let every member exercise his 5 senses who is able to do so, because out from your Sunday school comes the guiders of the nation. Act 6. With us, all members must proclaim their nationality, and we're teaching our people their nationality and their divine creed, that they may know that they are part and parcel of this said government, and know that they're not Negroes, colored folks, Black people, or Ethiopians, because these names were given to slaves by slaveholders in 1779 and lasted until 1865 during the time of slavery. But this is a new era of time now, and all men now must proclaim their free national name to be recognized by the government in which they live and the nations of the earth. This is the reason why Allah, the great God of the universe, ordained Noble Drew Ali, the prophet, to redeem his people from their sinful ways. The Moorish Americans are the descendants of the ancient Moabites who inhabited the northwestern and southwestern shores of Africa. Act 7. All members must promptly attend their meetings and become a part and a parcel of all uplifting acts of the Moorish Science Temple. Members must pay their dues and keep in line with all necessities of the Moorish Science Temple. Then you are entitled to the name of faithful. Husband, you must support your wife and children. Wife, you must obey your husband and take care of your children and look after the duties of your household. Sons and daughters must obey father and mother and be industrious and become part of the uplifting of fallen humanity. All Moorish Americans must keep their hearts and mind pure with love and their bodies clean with water. This divine covenant is from your holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali, through the guidance of his Father God, Allah. Islam. Happy Holy Day, Muslims.
Islam and gratitude, sister. We will now read our divine warning. A divine warning by the prophet for the nations. The citizens of all free national governments, according to their national constitution, are all of one family bearing one free national name. Those who fail to recognize the free national name of their constitutional government are classed as undesirables and are subject to all inferior names and abuses and mistreatments that the citizens care to bestow upon them. And it is a sin for any group of people to violate the national constitutional laws of a free national government and cling to the names and the principles that delude to slavery. I, the prophet, was prepared by the great God Allah to warn my people to repent from their sinful ways and go back to the state of mind, to their forefathers' divine and national principles, that they will be law-abiders and receive their divine right as citizens according to the free national constitution that was prepared for all free national beings. They are to claim their own free national name and religion. There is but one issue for them to be recognized by this government and of the earth, and it comes only through the connection of the Moorish divine national movement, which is incorporated in this government and recognized by all other nations of the world. And through it, they and their children can receive their divine rights unmolested by other citizens, that they can cast a free national ballot at the polls under the free national constitution of the state's government, and not under a granted privilege, as has been the existing condition for many generations. You who doubt whether I, the prophet, and my principles are right for the redemption of my people, go to those that know the law in the city hall and among the officials in your government, and ask them under an intelligent tone, and they will be glad to render you a favorable reply. For they are glad to see me bring you out of darkness into light. Money doesn't make the man. It is free national standards and power that makes a man and a nation. The wealth of all national governments, gold and silver and commerce, belong to the citizens alone. And without your national citizenship, by name and principles, you have no true wealth. And I am hereby calling on all true citizens that stand for a national free government and the enforcement of the Constitution to help me in my great missionary work, because I need all support from all true American citizens of the United States of America. Help me to save my people who have fallen from the constitutional laws of the government. I am depending on your support to get them back to the constitutional fold again, that they will learn to love instead of hate, and will live according to love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, supporting our free national constitution of the United States of America. I love my people, and I desire their unity and mine back to their own free national and divine standard, because day by day they have been violating the national and constitutional laws of their government by claiming names and principles that are unconstitutional. If Italians, Greeks, English, Chinese, Japanese, Turks, and Arabians are forced to proclaim their free national name and religion before the constitutional government of the United States of America, it is no more than right that the law should be enforced upon all other American citizens alike. In all other governments, when a man is born and raised there and asks for his national descent name, and if he fails to give it, he is misused, imprisoned, or exiled. Any group of people that fail to answer up to the constitutional standards of law by name and principles, because to be a citizen of any government, you must claim your national descent name, because they place their trust upon issue and names formed by their forefathers. The word Negro deludes in the Latin language to the word nigger, the same as the word colored deludes to anything that is painted, varnished, and dyed. And every nation must bear a national descent name of their forefathers, because honoring thy fathers and thy mothers, your days will be lengthened upon this earth. These names have never been recognized by any true American citizens of this day. Through your free national name, you are known and recognized by all nations of the earth that are recognized by said national government in which they live. The 14th and 15th Amendments brought the North and South in unit, placing the Southerners, who were at that time without power, with the constitutional body of power. And at that time, 1865, the free national constitutional law that was in force since 1774 declared all men equal and free. And if all men are declared by the free national constitution to be free and equal, since that constitution has never been changed, there is no need for the application of the 14th and 15th Amendments for the salvation of our people and citizens. So, there isn't but one supreme issue for my people to use to redeem that which was lost, and that is through the above statements. Then the lion and the lamb can lie down together in yonder hills, and neither will be harmed, because love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice will be reigning in this land. In those days, the United States will be one of the greatest civilized and prosperous governments of the world. But if the above principles are not carried out by the citizens and my people in this government, the worst is yet to come. Because the great God of the universe is not pleased with the works that are being performed in North America by my people, and this great sin must be removed from the land to save it from enormous earthquakes, disease, etc. And I, the prophet, do herein believe that this administration of the government, being more wisely prepared by more genius citizens that believe in their free national constitution and laws, and through the help of such classes of citizens, I, the prophet, truly believe that my people will find the true and divine way of their forefathers and learn to stop serving carnal customs and merely ideas of man that have never done them any good but have always harmed them. So I, the prophet, am hereby calling aloud with the divine plea to all true American citizens to help me to remove this great sin which has been committed and is being practiced by my people in the United States of America, because they know it is not the true and divine way, and without understanding they have fallen from the true light into utter darkness of sin. And there is not a nation on earth today that will recognize them socially, religiously, politically, or economically, etc., in their present condition of their endeavorment in which they themselves try to force upon a civilized world. They will not refrain from their sinful ways of action, and their deeds have brought Jim Crowism, segregation, and everything that brings harm to human beings on earth. And they fought the Southerner for all these great misuses, but I have traveled in the South and have examined conditions there, and it is the works of my people continuously practicing the things which bring dishonor, disgrace, and disrespect to any nation that lives the life. And I am hereby calling on all true American citizens for moral support and finance to help me in my great missionary work to bring my people out of darkness into marvelous light. From the prophet. All right, Islam Moors. Before we get started, just want to ask a few questions. For Royale calling in, are you calling from Akron? Just checking, just to make sure.
Yes.
Okay, all right. I remember you. For Solomon Watson, were we just speaking on Facebook, or are you calling from somewhere in Ohio?
Yes, sir. I am if Cremus Jones' son. He just told me to join so I can actually be in here and learn what we're talking about and stuff.
Oh, beautiful. Praise Allah. All right, gratitude. Thank you for calling in, brother. All right. So let's go ahead and get things started up, Morris. Today we're gonna be in chapter 13 in the Holy Koran of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Before we do that, though, I just want to say a few things. All right. So first, I just want to share something with you. Now this is from a paper that was written by Brother Thomas Bay out of Baltimore. Hang on. Was it Brother Thomas Bay? No, Brother Chambers L. Also, I believe out of Baltimore. Okay, and this is speaking about Islam and Islamism, but I just want to speak about one thing in particular to keep in mind. Okay, so he's speaking about Prophet Noble Drew Ali, saying that, but he's also speaking about all prophets in general. Just saying that all prophets fearlessly criticize the morals of their day and teach a nobler way of living. So I just want to put this in a proper context, right? all prophets, right? Fearlessly. They're going to criticize the morals of their day, meaning what's accepted, what's commonplace, and try to raise up the vibration, try to raise up the the frequency of the people. Even if the people ain't going to do it, they're going to try to set an example because they're trying to get people in tune with their own higher self. Remember, the higher self is spirit, and spirit is one with Allah. So we're talking about Allah in man. All right. And the prophets are doing this because they are speaking from the mighty Godhead. There's actually a letter that was written where the prophet is speaking from his mighty Godhead. They're speaking from their higher self. So it's Allah speaking. But remember, the way the prophet brought this information to us, he didn't say, hey, put me up on the cross. And I don't mean to be disrespectful to Christians or anyone else. He's not saying, hey, you guys, I'm the son of God and you guys are nothing, right? No, he didn't say, hey, the only way to heaven is through me. No, he let us know that just like him, Allah is in each and every one of us. Each and every one of us is actually one with the Creator. So he tries to show us a better example in how to subdue our own carnal nature so that we can realize that this is true and so that we can do this for ourselves. And so as it says here, on being true to this quality of prophethood, remember, fearlessly criticizing the morals of the day, Noble Drew Ali said, and he's speaking to his people, but I have traveled in the South and have examined conditions there. Now, these conditions he's talking about, right? You're talking about Jim Crow days. For anyone who's never heard of Jim Crow, write that down. JIMCROW, Jim Crow. In Jim Crow days, all right, our people were getting lynched. People were getting murdered. People were being hung from trees. Their houses were being burned down or taken from them. Where they're being ran out of town, right? They're being attacked. They even were taking our people out of office, our people who were mayors, who were Congress and, in different offices in government. They were killing them, running them out of town, trying to, make them scared and to keep them subjugated. So the prophet's traveling through the South, for example, and he's talking about, I have examined the conditions there. And instead of saying, oh, it's so sad. Oh, we so pitiful. It's so sad. They always beating us. We always are victims. And I'm not making light of the situation because this is real, right? He didn't say that. He looked at the conditions and he said, and it is the works of my people, continuously practicing the things which bring dishonor, disgrace, and disrespect to any nation that lives the life. He's like, that's why you suffer. That's why we suffer. Because of the things that we're practicing. Then on another occasion, he chided us, saying that day by day, we have been violating the national and constitutional laws of our government by claiming names and principles that are unconstitutional, putting it back on us, saying, okay, you want to be a chattel slave because you're going by stuff that they created for you to perpetually keep you at the bottom of the social structure here, right? And on another occasion, he admonished leaders, and by extension, the rest of us, when he said, right, because the leadership is supposed to set the example, but it's not letting anyone else off the hook. We're all supposed to be doing this. So he's going after the leadership, though. He says, we must not be under the influence of intoxicating liquors or any other harmful motive that will become detrimental to the organization. We must not speak rash words, nor any profane language in the mildest form to any other individual. And these are things that we all break every day, right? We all cursing folks out. Maybe some of you aren't as foul as some of us, right? And then the harmful motives, the intoxicating liquors, right? Using these things, doing these things. We're not supposed to be under the influence of any of that. And we must know this because nobody else is going to remind us. It's cool. It's accepted in Rome. And we, as Moorish Americans, now going to our Quran, we're not supposed to, the saying, when in Rome, do as the Romans do. We don't do that as Moorish American Muslims. It ain't all good. We don't do what everyone else is doing, right? We returned the church and Christianity back to the European nations as it was prepared by their forefathers for their earthly salvation. We don't want to do that stuff. We're not going to serve the gods of their religion. We're returning to our own Islam, which was founded by our forefathers for our earthly and divine salvation. So nobody else is going to say, hey, don't get high every day. Nobody else is going to say that because it's accepted. It's accepted as the norm. This is the Western world. This is Rome. It's okay. Do whatever you want. Anything goes here. No one else is going to say anything. So somebody has to hold the torch. Somebody has to be the light. And it has to be us. So we have to be able to hold ourselves accountable when we slip up, and we have to be able to hold each other accountable. So if you hear me saying anything about, oh, we should stop drinking, we should stop getting high, don't think I'm attacking you, okay? Don't think I'm trying to come at you or put you down. It's not attacking anybody. It's not coming against anyone. It's us trying to uplift each other and trying to uphold these divine principles that our prophet brought for us so that we could realize our highest potential. Because believe me, trust me, our highest potential is when we don't need any crutch. We don't need to get high, to have some weed in our system. We don't need to be drunk. We don't need any of these crutches. That's when we are really coming into our highest potential. All right. So I'm not going to harp on that too long. I don't want anybody feeling like I'm trying to get on you because it's not personal and it's not an attack and it's not acting like, you're not a good person. You're not doing the best you can. It's not, it's just that coming back to it. This is the example the prophet set. And I know what all that stuff's like because I've done it all before too. And just because I'm not doing that stuff now, don't mean I'm sitting up here trying to look down on anybody, We're just working, trying to do a better job and trying to be the best version of ourselves possible. So it's not even just, about one person. It's about us all. So, and then moving forward too, one thing we were speaking about last week, we were talking about the Moorish flag. Wanted to share some stuff with you, some artwork, right? So yeah, Sunday school, we're talking about the Moorish flag, talking about the points, the 5 points of the green star, and just how important it is to us to actually understand this, and then also for our children to understand how important it is, and the responsibility that comes with having this rich legacy, having these deep ancient roots, right? This isn't just something to do. This is who we are. This is actually who we are as a people. And so we're coming back into something that's ancient, right? So even just when you see the flag, right, it should be a reminder of the responsibility that we have, right? Because we have this unbroken chain, this going back thousands of years of people who've been civilized, people who created civilization, that civilized everything in the world, even Europe. That was one of the last places that we brought civilization to. And so this is what our flag reconnects us back to. And so I did ask, for all the Moorish children to, draw some artwork, just examples of what, what this having this flag means to you, being a Moorish American. What does being a Moorish American mean to you? Just draw, some artwork, whatever comes to your mind. My son, this is kind of old. He did this a while ago, but it was like a painting, and he just drew the fez. And I just wanted to share some examples with you. My oldest daughter drew this, right? She's got her own little characters, just drew that. And she's got the, female character wearing the fez a turban with the Moorish American button in the middle, right? Why is that stuff sitting there? Because she sees her mom doing it, because she's done it before, because this is your life. They're not going to teach you this in school. They're not going to show this in some stupid rap video. Why? Because in the rap video, it's all about how stupid we are, how ignorant we are, how we killing each other, how we're, we just sex crazed monsters. We just stupid. We just all about death and destruction. That's what rap is. Not knocking rap. I mean, you listen to rap all you want, but I'm just saying we have something that's much more powerful and stronger than that, right? And so this is our life. This is who we are. It's not a fad, you know? And so just wanted to share some examples. I would love, and this is also my youngest daughter, right? She got the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. He's wearing the fez, got the flags behind him, right? Got the Circle 7 down here. And really just want to just see artwork from the Moorish children because, oh, you're saying American Wolf represents freedom. Okay, so really just, want to see artwork from the children because this is real for us. It's real for us. And it's powerful and amazing that we have children in here. We have families in here. And that, we have people who understand the importance of teaching this to our children and reconnecting them to our culture, right? Our parents couldn't do it for us because they didn't know any better. Nobody told them. Nobody showed them. And if we don't create and build our own communities for our children, we just passing the same burden that was passed on to us to them, right? And what do we see in the world, right? It's weirdos. We see Black Lives Matter because Black people getting killed and ain't nobody doing nothing to the people that killed them, right? Nobody else has to deal with that. Chinese people don't have to deal with that. People that come to this country fresh off the boat from somewhere else don't have to deal with that. We've been here since the beginning. And we got to deal with it. We've been here since the beginning and we have neighborhoods filled with our people and we don't control the neighborhood. Everybody else comes in there and gets money off of us, right? The police in that neighborhood that we are the majority in acting like when they go to work, they go to the zoo. They got to lock and load and they want to treat us like animals. So these are conditions that we're in and we want to change that. This is why we're here. This is why it's not a game for us. And so I just wanted to speak on that briefly. Let's go ahead and go into chapter 13. We're in chapter 13 in the Holy Koran of the Moorish Science Temple of America. And in this chapter, we have the life and works of Jesus in Egypt among the Gentiles. All right. So this chapter, for the most part, is focusing on the journey and then also on the spiritual development of Jesus while in Egypt. So we're going to talk about this. And let's go ahead and read through this. Now, if I could, I'd like to just read. I'll read about six verses, and then I love to if we could get 2 more volunteers. Everyone read about 6 or 5 verses apiece. I'll go ahead and start things off. Brother Cole Bay, would you be able to read verses 7 through 13?
Islam Grand Sheik, if you could give me just 1 minute.
All right, yeah, no problem, brother. Don't worry about it. Brother Jones Bay, are you able to read verses 7 through 13? Okay, got you. All right, so here we go. Verse 1. I see you, brother Yabe. You got 7 through 13. All right.
Got you.
Islam, gratitude, and then just the rest, I guess 14 through 17. Can somebody just in the chat, if you're able to read those, just type that in the chat. All right. Verse 1, Jesus with Elihu and Salome or Salome in Egypt. Remember, Elihu and Salome are husband and wife, right? We don't get that understanding a lot of times, but just understand it. So you have this husband and wife working together, and Jesus is going to be learning from them, right? So they're giving them a balanced understanding or a balanced spiritual understanding, right? Husband and wife working together. Jesus with Elihu and Salome in Egypt tells the story of his journeys. Elihu and Salome praise Allah. Jesus goes to the temple in Heliopolis and is received as a pupil. And Jesus came to Egypt land and all was well. He tarried not upon the coast. He went at once to Zoan, home of Elihu and Salome, who 25 years before had taught his mother in their sacred school. All right, so looks like there's a rite of passage here. His mother went there 25 years before he was born and was taught by Elihu and Salome. And there was joy when met these three. When the last son of Mary saw these sacred groves, he was a babe. And now a man grown strong by buffeting of every kind, a teacher who had stirred the multitudes in many lands. And Jesus told the aged teachers about his life, about his journeyings in foreign lands, about the meetings with the masters, and about his kind receptions by the multitudes. Elihu and Salome heard his story with delight. They lifted up their eyes to heaven and said, Our Father, God Allah, let now thy servants go in peace, for we have seen the glory of Allah.
And we have talked with him, the messenger of love and of the covenant of peace on earth, goodwill to men. Through him shall all the nations of the earth be blessed. Through him, Emmanuel. And Jesus stayed in Zoan many days, and then went forth unto the city of the sun, that men called Heliopolis, and saw the mission to the temple of the sacred brotherhood. The council of the brotherhood convened, and Jesus stood before the Hierophant. He answered all the questions that we asked with clearness and with power. The Hierophant explained, Rabbi of the rabbinate, why come you here? Your wisdom is the wisdom of the gods. Why seek for wisdom in the halls of men? And Jesus said, in every way of life I would walk, in every hall of learning I would sit. The heights that any man has gained, these I would gain. What any man has suffered, I would meet, that I may know the griefs, the disappointments, and the sore temptations of my brother man, that I may know just how to succor these in need.
I pray, Islam. I pray you, brothers, let me go into your dismal crypts, and I will pass the hardest of your tests. The master said, Take then the vow of secret brotherhood. And Jesus took the vow of secret brotherhood. Again, the master spoke. He said, The greatest heights are gained by those who reach the greatest depths, and you shall reach the greatest depths. The guide then led the way, and in the fountain Jesus bathed. And when he had been clothed in proper garb, he stood again before the Hierophant. And stopping there, just going back to this now, we have the word sacred and secret in here, right? Several times. Looks like secrets mentioned twice and sacred maybe 3 times. All right. And both of these terms, the way that they're used, they're being applied to spiritual growth, right? So I want to speak on this, and how it relates to us, at a personal level. And also, for elevation for us, as a community, as a nation, right? So, of course, this whole chapter is just about Jesus' spiritual journey in Egypt, right? What he's going there, what he's learning, he's growing. Looks like Jesus is maybe around 25 years old or maybe 30, right? He's coming into this now as a man. He's been teaching. He's already been reaching the multitudes, right? So he's already at a kind of an elevated status. They're treating him like, why are you coming here to learn, right? Your wisdom is the wisdom of the gods. Why are you trying to get wisdom in the halls of men? All right. So in this chapter, right, in verse 15, Jesus is taking the vow of secret brotherhood. And I want to speak on that because when you have those terms, right, secret and sacred. Secret is something that is hidden, known only to a select few, often guarded. And now sacred, let me hang on a second. Let me see if I can pull up this whiteboard right real quick. We put some notes up here. Islam, can everybody hear?
Islam, clearly.
Okay. All right, yeah. So let me just see if we can put some words up here on the screen real quick. All right. So okay. All right, here we go. Okay, so secret is something that is hidden, known only to a select few, often guarded. Okay? And then sacred, something that is holy, revered, and spiritually significant. Okay? And then going in here, all right, Jesus, he's taking the vow of secret brotherhood. And that's in verse 15. And then we go to verse 15. Pardon me. Verse 15 says, the master said, take the vow of secret brotherhood. And Jesus took the vow of secret brotherhood. Right again, the master spoke, said, the greatest heights are gained by those who reach the greatest depths, and you shall reach the greatest depths. All right. Now looking at this, and I'd love to get, feedback from you, but in here, just with what's being implied, right? There's certain truths, right? He's taking his secret vow. There's certain truths, right, or certain experiences that you can only attain, or they're only accessible to people who's actually seeking and people who's actually doing the work, right? It's not something that you could just read about or learn, right? That's what's being implied in this chapter 2 when he's, Jesus is being asked, well, why are you even coming here, right? Because you're the master. And he said, I have to walk all of these different ways of walk. I have to go through these experiences. I have to reach the lowest lows, the lowest depths, right? I have to experience it. So there are certain things that are secret and that are only accessible to people who actually go through the work to get there and then do the the inner spiritual work to achieve it, right? Also, self-discipline has to be applied. We have to actually go through things and apply discipline. Okay? Also looking in here, right, we're going back to the secret brotherhood. All right. Now, the secret brotherhood, it's related to the sacred brotherhood. It's the same thing. Right? So it's the same concept. Right? The secrets that you get, the spiritual development that occurs by experiencing what you're experiencing, right? This brings about something that is sacred. So you have to experience it. So even just going back to chapter 1, which we always wind up going back to chapter 1, don't we? The creation and fall of man. when you go through chapter 1, just in case anybody ever has that question, because people always say the same thing. People who are atheists, people who are angry, like, why does God have babies suffering? Why does this happen? Why? All of these things. We already know why all of these things happen, right? It says in chapter 1, and remember, this is important. This was a declaration. In chapter 1, it says, let every living thing stand still and hear. Man is the Lord of all the plane of manifest, of protoplast, of mineral, of plant, of beast. We're Lord over all this. But he gave up his birthrights just to gratify his lower self. Then it says, but man will regain his lost estate, his heritage. But he must do it in a conflict that cannot be told in words. And then just in case people don't get it from there, it's telling you have to experience it. It can't be told in words. Right? The revolution will not be televised. You got to go through it. Then it says, yea, he must suffer trials and temptations manifold. Right? So we have to go through this and experience it. Right? The most high definition, dynamic, virtual reality experiment or experience ever, right? More real than any video game, anything that you could ever experience. You're actually going to be born into a physical world, coming out brand new, not knowing how to walk, not even knowing who you really are. And then have to go through and experience life and then realize your true nature. And with all the temptations to go against it, we have so many temptations to not even want to be here. It's Friday. It's a holy day, but it's also Friday. Weather's still nice outside, right? It's, stuff to get into. It's other stuff. It has nothing to do with unfolding a lie in man. So with all these temptations, we all have to deal with this. We all have to go through this, this secret, sacred experience. So we have unnumbered foes that will stand before us. And we're going to overcome every one of them. Right? But it has to be experienced. We must go through this. This conflict cannot be told in words. Right? So what Jesus is going through in Egypt, it's not even necessarily about this person who went to Egypt and met these people. And no, it's symbolic for all of us, for all of our lives, for everything that we're going through. Right? It's symbolic for what all of us are going through. Not even saying that this didn't happen to a person at one point in time, but that doesn't even matter. This is why the Jesus story is told over and over again throughout time. Sometimes the name is Osiris, sometimes it's Krishna, sometimes it's something else. Because it's something that's universal that can be applied to each and every one of us. All right, so we're all going through these temptations and these, this conflict that cannot be told in words that we must experience. We must experience this to bring about something that is sacred, something that is holy, revered, and spiritually significant. That's also why talking about in the beginning how, even though, hey, I don't care if you get drunk. I don't care if you get high. Especially if you have yourself under control. You're not like an addict. You don't have to do it every day. Well, good. That's good. And I don't want to make anybody feel bad about doing it. Because that's pretty good. Because there's a lot of people that don't have any self-control. So if you got self-control, you're good. But the thing is, we are trying to bring about something that is holy, revered, and spiritually significant, right? We are trying to bring out something that is sacred. So, and I'm going to say, well, let's try not to drink so much. Let's try to even give it up. Let's try to give up, smoking weed and all that stuff, right? We're going to mention it because we want to represent the prophet. We want to follow those divine instructions so that we can bring about something that's sacred. What makes it so sacred is that with even all these other influences to go in every other direction, we still seek that small inner voice inside. We still seek to unfold Allah within. Okay? Moving on. And so this, this story of Jesus, this relates to us all. All right? So that sacredness, the spiritual wisdom that lies within each and every one of us, right? It's brought about by transforming ourselves. And it's only to be revealed to those who have prepared themselves to receive it. So you got the secret thing, right? And when people think secret, they're like, oh man, that's bad. Where they wearing masks and stuff, they trying to be all secretive. You know, where they going in the basement to do what they doing down there, like, you know, secret. Like it's, you know, it's bad, right? But no, right? Secret. Known only to a select few, often guarded, right? Why is it, you know, guarded? Why is it hidden? Why is it known only to a select few? Because it's only to be revealed to those who have prepared themselves to receive it. Everybody ain't ready for it. It's not because we made that decision. It just is what it is, right? Everybody don't even want it. Everybody ain't trying to unfold the creator within them. Everybody don't even want that type of responsibility. Being Allah. Okay? So this is what we're doing. And this is what we've been charged with. Whether you realize it or not, you wouldn't even be here if that wasn't a huge part of your mission. Because there's so many other things you could be into and doing right now. Right? But you want the truth. Most people don't want the truth. So this is important. Right? With this, we want to be able to balance this out in our own lives. Especially in the context of what we have to do as Moorish American Muslims, right? And so what we want to do to balance this out, we want to always keep in mind, or at least consider, the importance of the spiritual, like the personal spiritual growth that we all go through, but then also only sharing what is sacred with those who are ready to receive it, right? So we're not out there like trying to tell everybody all this stuff, right? We're not on the internet trying to tell everybody all this stuff that they're not even trying, they're not even interested in it. They don't even care, right? We're not getting caught up in that, right? But we do want to keep this in mind, when we're going through things. Sometimes the things that we're going through have, symbolic meaning. We want to be able to look at the world not only just, from a physical, literal standpoint, but also spiritually, like from a higher standpoint, like, hey, what's really going on here? What am I really going through this for? Right? Want to be balanced. Right? And so, those are just some of the things I wanted to share on it. I'd love, just to hear back from you guys, just, to share anything that you've gone through, any sacred truths or knowledge, right? That you've experienced, that's been revealed to you, especially as you've come into this and started to, exercise spiritual discipline, exercising perseverance and inner work. Anything, sacred that's been revealed to you. And I'm not talking about what people say. I'm just talking about things that happen in your life, changes that happen in your life. And it's only, really only for you. But if anybody would like to share, please feel free to speak up. On that note, I'm going to go ahead and yield the floor. Please, anyone, who've had any experience, any wisdom that's been revealed to you, please feel free to share Islam. And on that note, I yield the floor, Morris.
Islam more, Islam Temple 30. Happy Holy Day. Give all praise to the great God Allah. Honor to the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. I would say I started as far as seeing the more science and the works of Allah. I started seeing it really in the past 3 years, and the Moorish journey, I want to say I started like most people did with Tashriq Bey, probably like in 2013-ish. One thing I can say is just employing the works and employing, if you even look in your Holy Koran, when it goes to the instruction and part, really understanding it first and then employing it, you do see the works Give an example. Just like I look at a lot of chapters, like when it comes to the prophet, when it comes to toil, when he was talking about Jesus, when it comes to work, you look at work as toil. You don't look at it as the people look at it. You look at it more as sharpening your sword on the skill that you have to sell to the world, and you see how that works and manifests with you. But you have to employ it, and you have to have discipline, and you have to have patience. It's just like farming or just like growing a plant in the backyard. You nurture what you love, what you labor, you nurture it. And those instructions kind of give it more detail for us as a people because it's coming from our prophet that's a person from us. Islam, with that, I yield the floor.
Islam, brother, gratitude, definitely gratitude for sharing. And it's like you saying, with the patience, like a lot of times, we do come across lessons and things that's being revealed to us, but it doesn't really become clear until later on, as our understanding grows, right? So it might not even be apparent right away. But, I think, definitely on this journey, we're all encountering secret knowledge, right? It does become sacred, as we grow personally. All right. And so if anyone else would like to share any experiences, just anything, you've learned over time, please feel free to speak. On that note, I yield the floor.
Islam. I rise to my highest heights, giving all perfect praises to our Father God Allah. Honest to Prophet Noble Ali. Honest to the forerunners. Honest to all the divine prophets. And honest to everybody in the meeting, Islamism. One of the things that I ran across in the Moorish paradigm since I've learned about our divine creed and religion is it's like these these mantras, these oaths, right? We have obligations to them. So as soon as you pledge your oath, your allegiance to this, right? If you decide to go down the wrong path, it's penalties to it. Like I just stopped. I stopped selling. This helped me stop selling drugs. It's changed. This completely changed me. How I used to be, smoking, drinking, selling drugs, to the man that I am today. A father. I'm in the community, charitable, picking up trash. I'm a completely better person, which I always wanted to be. This is like my guidance. It was the guidance that it was the discipline that I needed. And I know that if I ever decide to go back that way, that I can never win doing that way. I can never mix it to fix it. I always have to be the straight and narrow, which makes me have to utilize my brain to do whatever I need to, but in a positive way. So everything has to be within the bounds of righteousness because I pledged an oath to this. So I love this. Sometimes it's challenging, but it's the best thing that I ever done in my life. Thank you, Islamism.
Islam, brother, gratitude for sharing. That's powerful, brother. And it's definitely true. Especially, with just saying like whatever we pledge ourselves to, man, we're gonna be held to it. So yeah, definitely, brother. That's powerful. And just going back into chapter 13, remember one of the main things I wanted just to hit on is that the whole journey with Jesus into Egypt wasn't just some physical thing, it's spiritual, right? And it's, symbolic of what we're all going through, period, just in life, right? Not even about physically going somewhere, so it's, this growth that's being experienced through sacred teachings and secret knowledge. Okay. And then remember the connotations of sacred and secret, right? They're both linked to that internal work that's necessary for spiritual enlightenment for all of us, right? Because the spiritual growth, this is a process, right, of uncovering hidden truths, right? And we can only go through it. We have to experience it. It can't be told in words, right? And since we're actually going through it, Like not just being told about it. Now we're uncovering the gems is hidden within. So that's why it can't be revealed to everyone. It's just like, some people, I mean, everybody's, got their own challenges, but sometimes the harder your life is, right? All that stuff is just there not to punish you, but to make it so that when you do begin to grow and change, all of the hardships that you had to go through just make you stronger. It makes you unbreakable, right? And it's really sacred because you've gone through it, you've experienced it. And so just hitting on that. One thing I would like to add to this now would be how can we as Moorish American Muslims continue to uncover the sacred that's in our daily lives and also uplift ourselves and our communities, from a practical level, taking this knowledge and understanding now and then using this to uplift ourselves and then also, at the community levels, to improve our communities, right? How can we do this? How can we, um, begin to do this work individually and collectively? Love to hear your thoughts on that, Morris. And definitely, we always want to choose to love instead of hate, right? We want to be at our highest principle, at our greatest self at all times, right? To set an example. Um, and then we don't want this to just be something that we, talking about in the temple, temple meetings. We want to, put this into practice in our daily lives, right? On the individual level and then also as a collective. Because if we're not doing it as a collective to build up our communities, there is no nation. Islam,
Grassy. Can I just handle back? It's kind of like when
Islam, brother. Before you speak, is there something you can do to turn up your mic? It's real low and muffled.
Islam. Is it better?
Much better, Islam.
Okay. I was just camelbacking on that because it's when you know yourself and you study yourself, study, then once you finish studying, the prophet says study again. And then once you finish studying that, study some more, and then you have your creed, your 5 principles. You employ those, and then that's when it comes to helping you with the discipline for your task because you do have direction. A lot of our Asiatics don't have direction. So therefore, like once you're in the temple and you're studying the temple, you're actually studying kind of like, to me, I used to go through martial arts when I was younger. So it's the same discipline. You study that so that therefore you get stronger, but therefore your character gets stronger in the way you see things. Islam, I yield the floor.
Islam, brother. Gratitude. Are there any other Moors that want to speak on this too? Just how we can continue to use the lessons from this chapter in our lives, and then also for us as a collective. Islam,
Islam.
Islam, brother. We can hear you.
Islam. First, I want to rise, give praise to Allah. Honor to the forerunner, Marcus Messiah Garvey. Honor to all the true and divine prophets. Honor to everybody on the call. And I was just going to say, like the example that was set forth in the chapter, going into the different halls of learning, and that's one way we can strengthen our community is through what we know. A lot of times well, at least, well, I can't speak for everybody else, but I didn't learn like a whole lot in school. I graduated from high school, but I learned more out in the street than I learned in school, for real, for real. I ran into the prophet on the street. So the one thing that I take from it is to keep growing in knowledge and applying that knowledge. Islam.
Islam, definitely, definitely good example, right? We saw that in there with Jesus, right? We not looking down, on the different schools of thoughts and different, places where we can learn. So yeah, I agree with that as well. Um, and before we move into the closing, there any other Moors that would like to share their thoughts? All right. Are there any questions or any more would like to demonstrate in general, even if it's not related to chapter 13? Okay, I want to announce without further ado, we're going to go into the closing of the meeting. I want to thank everyone for participating. I just want to encourage everyone to reflect on this chapter throughout the week until next Holy Day class, right? Remember those key things, about sacred and secret, um, and how this, affects us, right? How it can be applied to us on a regular basis. Okay. And just remember also, I know I said this over and over again, but remember Jesus' journey, in Egypt. This is, something that we're all going through, right? We're all here actually experiencing this. This can't be told in words. And as we go through this, we're revealing things to ourselves, right? Hidden wisdom, okay, is being unlocked. So let's go ahead and go into the closing of the meeting. Having already read everything, read our divine warning, just going to go ahead and close out. Before we do, though, I would like to put the call out there for collections for anyone that would like to assist us in the great work of uplifting fallen humanity. You can always go to our website. Just go to MoorishAmericans.com. Okay, you go to MoorishAmericans.com. Just scroll down to the bottom of the screen and click that donate button on there to send a donation to us. Also, if you're ready to join and proclaim your nationality, just click on the contact button. We will need to speak with you, so you can fill that contact form out or you can give us a call. And on that note, all meetings are to be opened and closed promptly according to the Circle 7 in love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. I want to ask everyone who is able to please rise and face the east as we recite, or as I recite the closing prayer. You do not need to repeat after me. Allah, bind our hearts and minds back to our ancient forefathers' divine creed and principles. We ask this in thy holy name and the seven Elohim. Amen. Islam. Peace and love, Moors. Happy Holy Day. And gratitude, everybody, for coming. This meeting is now adjourned.
Islam, happy holy day.
Peace and love.
Peace and love. Happy Holy Day.
Some-
Peace and love. Happy Holy Day.